All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry if there is a banging noise in the background. Neighbors are rebuilding their house or something. I'm not sure what's going on, so that's happening. But it's Friday, I think. I think it's Friday. It's technically my Monday, so I'm a little befuddled. But yeah, it's a free draw day. Someone's joined me already. Junk Giant, welcome. Just hanging out on Discord. Gonna do some doodles. That's it. That's the plan for the day. So we'll see how that goes. Bri, welcome. Yeah, the Nikon. I had like a D90 for the last 15 years or so. It was finally time to upgrade, and I got a new camera, and that's awesome. And we're gonna do some sweet videos here in the future, so that will be pretty cool. I got a new desktop for my office, so I can slap the clay on there and not worry about it. And yeah, so that's gonna be the next few weeks. Will be. My voice has been disconnected. What? Reconnect. There we go. How's that? Can people hear me now? I hope people can hear me now. That was weird. I don't know what happened. But yeah, got a new camera. So we're going to be doing some filming for the sculpture stuff. I'm going to start using some clay. That'll be on YouTube. I'll probably do some of that stuff on Twitch as well, but that's for video stuff, and I'm excited for that. I'm going to draw some rugby. I think I got to draw some rugby. I got to draw some merfolk because it's Friday and it's May still for a little bit longer. Ugh, I'm tired. I am tired. I have been working way too much lately. I know I said it was my Monday, but I pulled like a 12-hour day yesterday doing stuff here for video editing. New video is out. If you haven't checked that out, go check out the Why You Should Play Clerics video. It's pretty awesome. I hope people enjoy it. Yeah. It's been a fun year. This year's been helping me kind of get everything set up, and hopefully we can actually make a nice little business out of the YouTube stuff. The YouTube and the Twitch. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's just slowly coming together. And, you know, that's okay. That's okay that it's slow. I'd rather we do things the right way instead of the fast way, which is against most of my nature, but but that's, you know, that's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be sometimes, and that's all right. I suppose I could turn on some music. I feel like I've made some kind of like zombie rugby. No caffeine rugby. Fuse Deck Knights, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Corvus, welcome. The odds of you getting killed by your cat are low, but never zero. I absolutely know what that means. I completely agree with that. How are you doing, Corvus?
I'm alright.
It's a good picture.
How did the game go yesterday?
The game went great. Yeah. For all of the Patreon members, it is posted. If you want to catch the Patreon game, you can download that and listen to it. It'll be a little while before I catch up on YouTube, but I am starting to edit those, the live streams. I'm sorry, the Patreon games, onto YouTube, so people will be able to hear that. It was pretty good. It was pretty funny. I made the mistake of putting them in a library, but I was aware that it was happening. Halloween Candyman, thank you for the gifted sub to Inferno.
Halloween _ candy _ man has gifted a sub to Inferno 256.
Apparently, Liam and Laura Bailey are playing Elder Scrolls Online.
Nice. What were they? What was I saw someone posted something. I don't know if this was here in a different Discord. That more time has passed between Skyrim and now than Skyrim and the original original Elder Scrolls game. It's like, what's the next one? What are you guys gonna do?
Oh, they're just gonna ride off on like the success of Skyrim. They're not gonna put out any new games.
They're just like, Skyrim was the one done. They're like, that's it. We did it.
Yep.
Never again.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Todd Howard.
Skyrim was pretty great.
Dude, just like ride the wave of Skyrim for eternity.
Skyrim 2021, the re-releasing. Yeah. Nothing has changed.
The releasing. Yeah.
Game of the Millennium Edition.
Game of the decade.
Game of the decade, yeah.
Because it came out in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty old.
And yet, it still has a thriving modding community.
I mean, to be fair, though, like, the original Mario game still has a thriving... maybe not a modding community, but... I mean, look at, when did freaking Gary's mod come out?
True.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. And to be fair, like, you don't always have to have sequels. I mean, like, it could just be done. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But definitely, it's definitely time for another grand open world adventure, I think. Maybe Cyberpunk was trying to do that, but they didn't do a good job. So,
yeah.
I doubt it'll have the staying power that Skyrim did. Fuse decks, Night. What are we saying? Special Edition Skyrim will make it look better and fix one problem and make all the other ones even worse. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Anyone can join the free draw today? Yes, that is true. There is a link to the Discord down below, and then there's a link on the general text-only zone tab of the Discord. You're welcome to join us today. I do ask that you follow the rules of the Discord. Be polite to each other. You know, give people space for their drawings. Don't delete stuff. Don't draw weird things on there, other people's stuff.
Don't use the autofill tool.
Don't use the autofill tool. That is the first rule. No autofill tool. Because it likes to break things in Aggie.
Yep.
But,
I definitely think there will probably be a new game because Bethesda has, with their Elder Scrolls games, has always moved on to a different region. That's the established, I don't want to say canon, but...
Rookzer0
method. It's like you're eventually going to run out of provinces to go to.
Skyrim was pretty great. I'm already in the Discord, but I have no clue how to use the software. It's totally fine. Aggie.io or Discord or the Aggie.io software. If you're in Discord, you should see on the left there's the Rookzer0 art, like all the channels. If you click on the general text only zone, there's a link there that I've posted. Let me see if I can. Should be the one that is just the main one. It might drop you in rules and regulations first. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. Da, da, da. I don't know what I'm drawing. It's like, looks like Rugby's is sneezing.
We're disgusted.
I was gonna make him a vampire banshee thing. Hey!
Give him one tiny useless bat wings.
Yeah, well, he's got the ears. I don't know if he needs the wings.
True. You could pick up FM radio waves with those things.
We'll make him a little Moogle. Blah. Big big old honker goblin feet.
Massive feet.
Goblins have huge feet, but people don't notice because they're like 90% head and then like 20% feet. And they're just like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up. And it's like, man, it's weird.
Or about 20% nose, depending on who's doing the art.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing the goblins where it's like, hello, that's one way to do it. I'm a big fan of the like tiny nose, giant mouth. Goblins.
Massive elephant ears.
Looks like I've drawn a scary clown.
Or like an evil mogul.
Nebby, welcome to the gambling. Let me hop on a voice chat then, if that's all right. Yeah, you're welcome to join the voice chat. Hopefully no one can hear the voice chat, I hope. That should be how it is. I may have donked things up, but the voice chat should not be in the Twitch. I just ask that once again you are courteous, and it is that I do have to talk to the channel sometimes, so if you have a long story, keep it short. Otherwise, hang out.
Yep. We're all guilty of long stories occasionally. So.
Oh yeah, everybody does it. Everybody does it. I did an interview with Ego Distilled yesterday. Hopefully that will be coming out. I think he said Sunday or Monday.
Sunday.
So that will be cool. So people can listen to that. That'll be, I hope, the first of many. It's the first of many cool, fun interviews. Yeah. The new video, the Why You Should Play Clerics, is out on YouTube, so you should go check that out. There will hopefully be a new Artist Arcana video out in the next few days, depending on when we get the artwork done for those. If you haven't checked out the Artist Arcana, apparently it's hard to search for. People can't find it on YouTube, even though I have it in a playlist.
Make a playlist?
Yeah, it's in his playlist. So it's on blah blah blah. It's got its own playlist. Burning, welcome. I'll shout out Burning here. All right, go check out Burning Palace. Cool art, cool games.
Burning Man Palace.
Burning Man Palace. Get your lollipops and your, the hell are the pacifiers. Go check out Burning Man Palace. Get sand.
I will now refer to Burning Palace as Burning Man Palace, just if they're okay with it.
Burning Man Palace, where sand in your gooch is a normal thing.
Yep.
I want to make him more vampire-ish. I guess we were talking about werefolk. And it made me think of the vampire stuff.
Well, there are werebats.
Oh, yeah.
That do affect goblins.
The Vergoolies are amazing. If you don't know what a Vergoolie is, check that out.
I feel like that has to be based on something from, like, real world folklore.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was like, this has to be, like, from, like, Southeast Asia or the Philippines or something, because it's so weird that it has to be from the real world.
Thanks for the shout out. Maybe I should start hosting my own festival in the middle of the desert. Yeah, you could. You absolutely could. You could call it Burning Man Palace, or you could call it like, I don't know. Instead of Fire Fest, be like Burnt Fest, Fire Pit Fest,
Yep. Bonfire Fest.
Charcoal Fest.
Considering that
All right, let's draw some
Kentucky
merfolk.
has a festival dedicated to beer cheese, I think anything could be a festival, so...
All right. Merfolk. What am I doing here? It's a pretty good bend.
I had to have a friend talk me down from buying like a $35 wheel of cheese today. I was like, please convince me not to do
Did you go to the cheese festival? Is that what happened?
No. I don't think that happens till like July or August or something. I was like scrolling through, I think Etsy.
If you're buying your cheese on Etsy, there might be something wrong. That's all I'm gonna. Just not that cheese isn't some artisan process. It's just that doesn't feel reputable.
Well, I bought food from Etsy and it turned out fine. So.
I would not have thought to buy food from Etsy.
Yeah, it was like a Spanish company who's, I guess because of weird things, they decided just to use an Etsy page.
Yeah, that sounds super sketch.
I mean, it was the Spanish cheese, so.
Alright, sorry for asking, but is it okay to join the voice channel chat? Voice channel draw because my end of the live stream was just loading and buffering it all, and now it's cheese full. Yes, you're absolutely allowed to. There's no problem with that. You can join the voice channel chat. Just yeah. You can join the voice channel chat.
Halloween_candy_man has gifted a sub to FusedX Night VR.
Yeah, thank you, Halloween Candyman. Thank you for the. I need to be doing push-ups for this. I keep forgetting that. I need to do push-ups for the subs. Fuse Night, enjoy those emotes with that tier. Thank you, Halloween Candyman.
I just wanted to make sure, Rook. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Totally fine.
Friday free draw.
So how do you use this program as someone who has never used this?
How do you use Aggie?
Yeah, is it similar to Adobe Photoshop?
It is. So on the left, there's a little brush, and that's just like your paintbrush in Photoshop. You can use the bracket keys to go bigger and smaller.
I forgot what bracket keys are. I've not had a PC since like high school.
It's the this and the this.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Hold on. I want to make
You can also just on the right, you can adjust your density and your size there too, but but it does have a lot of Photoshop shortcuts. So.
Do we all need to have our own layer?
Yeah, you should have your own layer when you jump in. Okay. So like, yeah, you're on your own layer now. Okay. Just don't use the fill tool. That's all you got to do.
Okay. No fill tool.
No fill tool. You can either hit E to erase, or you can hit D to erase the entire layer if you want. I do that from time to time. Buying cheese on Etsy. Sheesh. Corvus, I feel like you just show up to torture me sometimes.
No. I just show up to tell the weird things that happen in my life.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oop, I accidentally closed the Discord chat. Let me look at this. I got distracted by a pixel cat. There we go. But who would play it? That's the game with the enormous amount of mods in Skyrim. What are the modding Skyrim before the tools even were rumored to coming out? I was excited for Fallout, and then I blew almost immediately. Then it blew past. Yeah, I remember Morrowind. When Morrowind came out, Morrowind came out with a map editor. It just came with the game because they wanted the modding community to just go to town with it. And I did I made some like really stupid mods where I just like reskinned stuff and made my own audio files for things. Downloaded some stuff so I could like cheese the cheese the stats. It's like, oh, what happens if you have 1,000 jump? You fly into the sky and die. It's great.
Yep. Take like 100 bottles of skooma and drink them all.
I backed out immediately when I tried to post a rugby sign emote. It looked like it wanted me to donate cheering 10,000 bits, but I'm not sure. I think that's about $300 worth of bits. Good trick. Oh, you clicked it. I just want so much money. I do want so much money. Yeah, I think Twitch is weird because it only allows you to post emotes at different tiers, and one of the tiers is like a 10th level tier, and someone that's donated like 1,000 subs, 1,000 subs, yeah. And so it's just like, well, that's my only option, and I don't want to not have something there, so I'll put that there. But I think that's what that is. Yeah, I think you're about right. So I'm definitely not trying to trick you. It is there, but I also think that does exist. There's also a super high level emote tier. But I think you slowly unlock those. I don't know if those are... No, those might just be the bit ones. Like, you have to donate so many bits before it unlocks. Because there's sub-tiers, and then there's bit emotes. My voice is thrashed. I talked for like 12 hours yesterday.
All the talking.
I did a D&D game, and then I had an interview, and then I had to finish filming the audio for the video. Yeah, I got all kinds of.
Cleric video. Pretty good video.
Which one?
The cleric one.
You like the cleric
really
video?
Enjoyed that.
Nice.
Yeah, because that was my favorite stealth caster. Like when I first played cleric, I'm like, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love clerics. Super fun. Super fun.
I also saw you like my comment, or I was the first one. I'm like, no, I don't call it lawful stupid. I call it stupid good.
Stupid good. Yeah, stupid good is a good way to do it.
Yeah, it's
like,
what it is.
Lawful stupid is a fun one.
Wrong, bruh. She's a cleric.
Yeah, Jester's a warlock. Technically, she is a warlock or a cleric. Mechanically, she's a warlock.
No, mechanically she's a cleric.
It's debatable.
She's a trickery domain.
Rules as written, she is a cleric. Rules as written, she's a cleric. But she plays it like a warlock.
Yeah, there's the warlock, so it's very confusing. Like, okay, you're playing basically up to a point with like, oh yeah, the Traveler's a god. No, it's a fae person. So you're just like, huh.
I mean,
So she could have been a warlock hard time.
Yeah, I definitely see. And this is an argument we've had so many times, and I'm totally fine to have it every time we have it because it's so good. Really for me, I talked about it in the video, so go watch the video before I talk about it too much. But I don't see a problem with doing it either way. I think the really only issue is like choosing the spell lists is really the only issue with it. Like, if you want a cleric that has the cantrip stuff, just play a warlock and pretend you're a cleric. Like, you could say you're a cultist and then pick paladin, cleric, or warlock, and it would totally work. It's just like, which path are you going down? And I think that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, that kind of Matt included with his Wild Mount campaign, where it's like, when you would go down like all the deities, they would have like their normal cleric domains, but then there was also like a warlock packs.
Yeah.
That you could go.
Yeah,
especially when it got to the what they call lesser idols.
She's
like
a godlock.
What Artagan is.
Yeah, she barely heals. It's not a big deal, really. Yeah, like that's the biggest thing about Jester is that, as a character, is that she's underutilizing her cleric abilities, which is kind of facilitated because of, like Caduceus being there, having a secondary cleric. She doesn't have to fill that role, so she's
she's playing a cleric, but she's focusing on all the trickster stuff, and she's not really needing all of the extra cleric functionality, and that's totally fine. Like, that's a fine way to play it, and that's why I'm saying, like, she's technically a cleric, but she's mechanically, the way she's playing it more of a backline support character.
Which
So,
that,
yeah, it's totally
in a way,
fine.
is what like Trickery Domain is about. Like,
Yeah.
they don't
that
lean
is.
towards heavy combat or healing, or they're like very much like supporting other people and other things.
Yeah, and that's why I love the domains, because it really does shift, like with the different wizard schools, and like with fighters the same thing. It's like, do you want to be a melee damage dealer, a tank? And it's like all those are kind of the same. But with the cleric, like, you can go all over the place. It's everywhere, depending on how you pick it. It's like, I'm gonna be a non-healing cleric, and everyone's like, okay, that's fine, I guess. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's like quoting Joe Crab, like literally in like his videos of clerics. It's like, oh yeah, no, you can literally have the need of any position with a cleric.
mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's like, oh yeah, you want to have a paladin, pick a forge cleric. Oh, you want to have someone who's really good at being the magic caster, pick knowledge or war. You know, it's like trickery. There's your rogue, basically.
Yeah, I really hope, because Joe Cat does a really good job with his guides, and I really wanted to make sure that when I did, because I'm doing like the Why You Should Play series, I wanted to make sure I'm not just doing like, here's a guide on how to play these one way. It's like, no, I want this video to make you think about clerics on a whole, and not like as a whole, not as something else. I can't draw on the phone. No, Chunk Giant. Do your best.
Our voices are being projected into the
What?
Discord.
That's impossible.
Not Discord, but stream.
That is impossible. I don't understand.
According
how
to
this
Inferno.
happens. Discord audio on stream. Let me look at this. Someone talk.
Hello?
Okay, great. Is it okay? Hold on a second.
Inferno.
Is it all right that you guys' voices on Twitch, or should I delete this?
That's fine.
It's fine. I don't care.
Okay. You're muted now. But I got legal authority to do that. No one can yell at me for it now. I got permission. I have verbal consent, and everyone heard it. Even though I got it after the fact. That's my bad. It happens, yeah. I keep fiddling with all of the settings, and everything gets weird. I think I had that. It doesn't make sense, because I think what happens when I play music is I have to switch the audio channels, and then I have to unmute it, but then when I turn off the music, it switches the audio channel back to where the Discord audio is now audible. Very strange. Very strange. Whatever. It is what it is. Thank you, Inferno, by the way. Is my voice on Twitch? Because it would be weird. Yeah, that would be pretty weird. I am the Halloween Candy Man. It just says that over and over again. Fear me. Are you going to change it to Halloween Ice Cream Man? Is that a thing that's going to happen soon? That's an in-joke that only hardcore Discord members will understand. I get that reference. What were we talking about? Cleric Steve. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I saw. It sounds like season 2 of Critical Role is wrapping up. I'm so far behind that I have no idea, but. Oh, wow. That's soon. All right. That's exciting. Oh, it's done? Nice. Okay. Cool. I hope Caduceus ended up being the big bad guy. He's just had enough. And he's like, you evil people have to be put down. I'm so sorry. The Wild Mother granted you the power to get you here so I could stop you. I don't know what I'm drawing anymore. I mean, I know what I'm drawing. It's just like, I'm not. I think I'm... Eel made, yeah. I assume that will somehow end with a shopping episode. That would be pretty funny, too. That would be pretty great. It's one of the final days. Yeah, this is the final mermaid stream. A mermaid dwarf. I think I had to draw that on Wednesday, yeah. Yeah, I drew blobfish on Wednesday. So. They done exploded. They done did explode. I keep watching, like, Jacksepticeye's playing Subnautica Sub-Zero or whatever. Actually, I think he finished it. I think he finished that series, but I was watching it, and every time he would, like, go down really far, like 700 meters below, and then he'd hop out of his robot, I was just like, no! Expecting him to explode. You can't touch music. Nice. Yeah, I really like Bard too. It's my second go-to. Interesting. That's funny. Do you did you have disadvantage on any of those because of not being able to hear your own music? Why did I do ears? Slime core. That's cool. That's always fun when you can homebrew, basically like customized level up stuff for your characters. I like that idea. Anatomy of the mermaid. The difference between mermaids and sirens. That's something I might actually have to look up. Also mermaids. Also manatee. Okay, so we just need to put a beard. Here we go. Let's make it a dwarf. Just a big old beard. Actually, you know what? That actually sounds kind of cool. Okay, I have a new plan. No, I am gonna make the dwarf, the merfolk dwarf. But I'm gonna do it by applying liberal amounts of beard. That's my new plan. Why aren't there any dwarven women? Well, people just confuse them because they have the beards. Oh yeah, that's canonical for Tolkien, yeah. I remember, if you haven't read any of the Rat Queen comics, I highly suggest it. I like them. Rat Queens? Yeah, Rat Queens. It's a D&D based comic book. And when I say that, like the McElroys, when they did their comic book, they based it off of them playing D&D, and so a lot of it is like disembodied Griffin DM. This is actually a comic book that is set in what feels like a D&D game. So like they use some terminologies in there that would make sense for it to be in a D&D game. Like it could just be someone playing D&D, but it's still all in world, which I really like. And part of something I really thought was funny was one of the, there you go. You can see the dwarf in the back. She's got a big old fancy beard. She doesn't have it in like the first 2 comics. And it's because she's rebelling against her family, and so she shaved it. And it's just like, I liked that. I thought that was really funny. I've never heard that before, ever. You just made that up. Never trust a beardless dwarf, huh? What was that? I read something. I don't remember if it was in Pathfinder or D&D, but they were talking about playing. It might have been in like a Matt Coville video or something. Playing with honor, and specifically in like for a dwarf campaign, where standing and like honoring your family's traditions was beneficial. Like that was part of the mechanic of the game, and part of it was like maintaining your beard would give you more points in standing. Like, oh, look at that guy's beard, it's amazing. I always thought that was a fun way to do it. Oh no, Young Giant lost all the points. Gross. Maybe it's because all of my uncles are mountain men. I don't care for beards. No offense to anybody that has one. I'm not like fucking sick. It's just like I'm not anti-beard. I'm not into it. like, I'm not interested in having a beard. I don't really, you know. I see a beard and I just like I'm not into it. That was like I can definitely appreciate a really nice beard. So I could definitely see like some people having some epic beards, but I'm not my jam, not my thing.
Yeah, you gotta get past the itchy phase. I'm being directly attacked at this point. Ah, the David Grohl.
I constantly think about shaving my soul patch. I never get rid of it though. I do. I have been horribly scarred as a child, so I had a soul patch as soon as I could grow one. It's not noticeable. I don't actually have horrible scars, but
you push past the pain, and the amazingness comes with the beard choosing you as its symbiote.
there you go. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn the beard. But no, when Backstreet Boys reunion started, I didn't shave for like a month, and I was just like, nah. No, I'm not gonna do that. We're good. That was the closest I ever got. Yeah, I've got pretty good sideburns. Like I can do mutton chops like nobody's business. But I also like the mohawk. So whenever I mohawk, I just shave the sideburns off. Usually they grow back first. They grow back before anything else does. So I have in the past had mohawk and mutton chops. That's a thing I've done. To the chagrin of everybody I know. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It eats when you eat.
That sounds pretty hipsterish. I'm not gonna. Yeah, that sounds like. I mean, that sounds like '90s grunge is what it sounds like, which is what the hipsters have taken over. So, if you live in Seattle, like, yeah, it's normal. Yeah. Oh yeah, Seattle and Portland, absolutely. That's your. No, you don't. You never have to go to Portland. Don't worry about it. No, Voodoo Donuts are not good. I'm gonna throw that out there. It's just a fucking. It's a maple donut with bacon on it. Whoop-de-doo! Shots fired. Shots fired. All I'm saying is I don't know. Don't go to Portland. Portland's not even my state. People are just gonna get all upset now. Like, what do you mean don't go to Portland? It's like last time I was in Portland, there was a guy eating out of a cereal box on the side of the freeway and peeing at the same time. Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good. Do not need to go back to Portland. Yeah, that's a little strange. To be fair, one of the first times I ever came to Seattle, I was getting gas as I was leaving town, and a dude just like got out of his car, fully erect, in his boxers, filled up his car, and then drove away. And we were just like, "The fuck? What just happened? Like, what's going on in this place?" So, I think that might just be everywhere. I think that might just be that weird people are fucking everywhere. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair. You know, I'm not even thinking about the public transportation. I'm sure there's worse things happen. If you don't mind some very controversial opinions from Florida, it's the home of bath salts. Fair enough. No matter what you can say about the state of Florida, we do it bigger and better, with a suspicious amount of sweat stains. Spudnuts is where it's at. Is Spudnuts a donut shop? Oh, okay. Gotcha. I do love me a good donut. There are two things that I will... Yeah, everybody fucking loves Voodoo Donuts, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just a donut, man. Like, I'm not driving... Krispy Kreme's is the most generic donut you can buy. It's done right because it's done on a factory line. Bullshit. The Krispy Kreme's shop in your little town gets their donuts delivered. That sounds highly suspicious. Highly suspicious. What's the thing they used to say about... Yeah, I hate cities. I do live in one. I very much enjoy living 10 minutes from an Amazon plant. That's super nice. What's that? Same day delivery? Yes, please. Yep. That's the benefit. The benefit is that, I mean, I like the accommodations of people. Yeah, that's the thing. I pay for normal shipping, and I usually get it the next day. Downtown Seattle is just a clusterfuck. And then most downtowns are, but like it's built right up to the Puget Sound, and so it actually like spreads around around the seafront, and then it just collides with every other city for miles. So when you say Seattle, there's actually like I think 8 different cities that are all just packed in there. Almost nobody lives in Seattle. Like there are very few people that live in Seattle. But I mean, everything's within 20 miles. Like everything is within 20 miles. Yeah. Mind you, that 20 miles can take you, an hour and a half to get through. But collectively, it's pretty close. I remember going to when I went to New Mexico. Where was it? I went to Albuquerque. And that's the thing about Albuquerque is like as you're flying in, you can see all of it. It's just like boop. It's like because it's surrounded by nothing. Seattle just there's like tons and tons of forests, and then city forever, and then water. That's it. It's like there's so much crap. Now I've gained weight and I have a baby face without it. Oh no, did you shave the beard? You grew a beard to rebel against the Mormon Church. You're not the first person I know to do that. I mean, if I order this item before noon, I can get it within 5 hours. One of the only benefits of living in your damn summer warehouse. Yeah, exactly. Oh no, more warehouses are sneaking into the chat. Gonna have a full pandemic on her. Not a pandemic. What's the infestation? There we go. Gonna have a full warehouse infestation. There we go. Yeah, that's the other rule. No fill tool, no mimics. That's not how mimics work. If you I mean that's kind of the I've made this argument before in the past because especially with like the slime folk video I did. I feel like I'm opposed to like the Jubilex, I think is what they're called. Because it is hey, I want to play a monster race, but I don't want any of the bad sides to it. I just want to be a person that's also a monster. And it's like, what? No. Like, if you want to play an ooze, you're an ooze. You're an ooze. You don't look like a person. You can try to look like a person. That's definitely something you can try, but it's going to be difficult, and like there has to be stipulations for it. Same thing with like where. Yeah, you're just it's you're playing a mold. And so so especially with the mimics, and I haven't made a mimic video yet, partially out of spite, but I'm just probably not going to do it, to be totally honest. But my argument for it is like, if you want to play a mimic, like you have to be a tree stump. Like you have to play something that the party would take with them, and then you somehow like if I played a mimic, I would basically not tell the party that I was there, and I would just randomly become an item in their inventory. Just like. And then, like, at night, I would just switch. I would, like, I'm going to climb over to the other party member's satchel and replace one of their items. Like, you have an extra potion in your satchel today. It's like, oh, that's weird. Haha, gotcha. Yeah, it's got to be... It's got to be something like that. Like, because if you're just gonna play a mimic, but you like have a human form and can act like a human and can be like whatever, it's like, so you're a changeling. You're like, no, I'm totally a mimic. It's like that's not a mimic. That's a changeling. Because yeah, like the other thing with if you're playing a if you're playing a mimic disguised as a warforged, like, are you using your mimic traits? Because if not, just play the warforged. And like, I'd like to play a warforged, but with edge, and it's like, okay, like you could just be spawned of some evil demonic necromantic phylactery, and that would give you the same effect. Bucket bed. Could an ooze character sleep in a bag of holding? To my knowledge, they don't breathe. I would allow that, yeah. No, there have actually been a few people talking about keeping an ooze in a bag of holding as just, like, permanent disposal. Like, oh no, we killed a guy, put him in the bag, and then the ooze just eats it. That's been talked about a few times on a few different forums I've seen. Yeah, no, they're the gelatinous cube, specifically the gelatinous cube, was originally described as basically wizards keep them in dungeons as disposal. That's why they're there. And they get bigger when they eat things, and so they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger based on... and eventually they get trapped. So like... Yeah, that's what they are. They're giant garbage disposals. Bucket bed. An edgy flush. Also, playing a mimic, you need to explain why you aren't just a mindless eating machine. Like, why wouldn't you just eat the first party member to touch you? Yeah, exactly. There is a limit of there is an image of damn it, Inferno. There is a limit of like me saying with monster races, like, okay, yeah, you somehow get the intelligence. Like that has to happen, otherwise you wouldn't function with the party and it's not fun, right? So for a mimic, if you want to be an intelligent mimic, that's kind of one of those, roll your stats. Oh, look, you're a mimic that has a high int stat. Cool. You still can't talk. You still can't do other things. And the whole premise of a mimic is that it is an ambush predator, right? So, I'm going to turn myself into a giant sword. It's like, well, okay, fine, but you're not actually a sword. You know that, right? like you're still doing your tackle attack when someone swings you. There is an intelligent bag of devouring in Pathfinder, and it looks exactly like a bag of holding, but it's actually a mimic. And whenever someone tries to get something out of the bag bites them. And then the bag also has a psychic effect where it tries to convince you to put other people in the bag. Like, it wants you to feed it. It's a really fun item to give people. Engulfed. It's just like intelligent potion, and you learn from that point on. Yeah, that's kind of what I did with the ooze folk as well. Is I figure at some point if a wizard accidentally falls into the goo and they have like a whole bunch of Ioun stones of intelligence, like, hey, look, you just kind of absorb that one item. Or you have to have it. Like when I played Barrington, Orson Barrington, the polar bear monk, he had a fez, and that fez was a fez of +3 intelligence. And the whole kind of shebang with that character was that I had to keep the hat on. If the hat got knocked off, there's a thing in Pathfinder where like you can't pass around items because there's no attunement, but if you take a ring off, you still technically are enchanted by that for several hours before it wears off. and so you have to give it to someone else and they can put it on, but then like the energy transfers. So there was a little wiggle room. Like if my hat got knocked off, I was like, oh crap, I gotta put the hat back on. But I had to keep it. I had to maintain that fez for forever until I found another way around it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my argument for that is the same one, like which is one of my reasons for like not liking bear folk versus why I played a bear instead of bear folk, because at that point you're basically just you're just playing a human with bear qualities. Like that's not as interesting to me as playing a bear. So like with Dingo Doodles, yeah, Snips is great. Snips is a great character, but her being an awakened monkey, or I guess Snips being Sips, right? Sips, yeah. Sips being an awakened monkey, she's playing Sips like a Vanara. Like there's no difference at all. Versus had Sips just been a monkey, that could have been different. like that. It's just you would play it differently. You would play it differently. So that's my big thing for like staying away from ooze folk or staying away from like a mimic folk, because at the end of the day, like you might as well just be playing a humanoid, like were humans versus bear folk, monkey folk. It's like, what's the difference between a folk and a were creature? It's like, well, I think the were thing should be a curse and you should get super powerful for it and it should suck. Yeah. Blood Hunter might not have existed. That's pretty new. Blood Hunter is pretty new. Yeah, that was pretty new. 2018 was pretty new for Blood Hunters. But like Pathfinder had a lot of shifter classes, had a lot of templates for like were creatures, like were sharks, were bears. Rook, am I shaming furries? Burning? No, I'm not shaming furries. I'm just saying that there's a lot to be said about playing a bear instead of a bear man. I think it's more interesting. That's all I'm saying. Like, and really, I think you're right. I am kind of putting this in a negative connotation, and I don't want to be, because like the Jubilex are fine. The new changelings, and I talked about this a little bit with the changeling video. Changelings are fine, but they very much follow the path of 5e, where everything gets kind of simplified and starts feeling the same, and that is part of my problem with, and this is why I'm saying, like, I'm not shaming furries, but a lot of the folk creatures feel the same. It's like, oh, they're humans, but have dog face. And it's like, well, that's kind of boring. It's kind of boring. Why can't we just play, like, the ooze? Why can't you play, like, for druids shape-shifting into weird animals is awesome. And there's a thing in Pathfinder for the Chimera shifting, and I'm like, that sounds amazing. But then when I read it, it's just like, you can shift your arm into this and your head into that. It's like, oh, I thought you could like shift into really weird, shitty creatures. Like, that's what I wanted. Yeah. So the shifter race and the shifter class, which is, they both came out at the same time, but one for Pathfinder and one for D&D. That's kind of what it is. It's like body augmentation. I'm like, I really wanted something different. And there's no reason that you can't do that. There's no reason you can't do that kind of stuff. And so with the Jubilex, Like, yeah, cool, you have this goo-like creature with the shape changers. Like, oh yeah, you're a human, but also have doppelganger powers. It's like, I really just want to play a ooze, and I want to play a doppelganger. Like, those are the two things I want. I don't care how, like, weirdly shifted it is so that it's easy to play. Like, I want it to be difficult, and I want it to be a weird campaign, and I love that. That's what I love about the monstrous races, is trying to make them fit, trying to find out how they fit. And really, that's what it is. Like, a lot of the stuff that 5e did, and a lot of the stuff when I'm saying things like that's boring, it's really just because it is made accessible, and that's okay. That's okay for people. People need that. And like I said in my Changeling video, I'm totally fine. If people want to play Changelings, I'm not going to be like, boo. I have said that to people, but I don't really mean it. I will let people play Changelings. Absolutely. They're really, really fun. Yep, that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. I've had a few people that that's what they want. Like, that's what they want out of D&D, and it's not bad. When you know that going in, it's like, hey, we basically want to play a video game, but let's just do that. Like, I don't really care about backstories. I just want fun, cool adventures, and like that's kind of what 4th edition excelled at. Pathfinder's pretty good at that. It's really good. You can do that in D&D as well. Just like dungeon dives are really, really fun. I really love dungeon dives. And if you have a whole team of people, and I had like 4 or 5 people playing this, where it's just like, we just want to do from point A to point B, and let's see if we can do it. And it's a lot of fun. But if someone's going into it with wanting lots of RP, that can really ruin their day. Because they're like, no, I want to stop and I want to talk to these NPCs. It's like, we don't care. Like, we're just here for combat. And it's like, oh, all right. That was the same campaign that went to save the princess and forgot her in the tower. They never unlocked her from the prison cell, and then the tower started collapsing, and they're like, yeah, let's get the hell out of here. And then at the end, I was like, so, where's the princess? And they're like, what? Oh, shit. I was like, yeah, you guys kind of dropped the ball on that one. And then that became an ongoing legend. That, like, whenever we played future games, we'd be like, there was the grand story, and the king's daughter was killed by a terrible, terrible mishap. It was a lot of fun. Kobolds are great. Sunglasses don't exist. Jump Rope loves playing Drow. And she always buys a sun hat. And I'm like, I can't stop you from buying a sun hat, but all right. Tell me like you're French mermaids.
Bri, you were talking about the wares as basically like a racial archetype, and I think you and I have talked about that before, about like a town of werefolk. They kind of have the shape changing under control. I think that's cool. I like that idea. But it's like an ability that those people have, and so I think those kind of things, like having infected versus cursed, or having the alpha driven thing, is a cool idea, where only one person infects them. That's kind of cool. I like the hierarchy set, but those are templates, and I think the templates could be dropped on any race. So like the whole town could be full of different races of people, and still have that, and I really like that. Inferno, want to play the blank. DM, sell me on it or nope. Oh, it's a false Hydra fight. That's a hard thing to run.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the false Hydra concept. Partially because I don't want to talk or describe it. So if you want to know what the false Hydra is, go look it up, because it's kind of a mindfuck. It's basically like an SCP as a D&D game. Yeah, it's definitely worth looking up. But like, draw a mayonnaise. All right, Inferno, we can do a mayonnaise. The core concept behind it is basically just to like mindfuck your players, and I'm not into it. So yeah, it's creepypasta. Yeah. No, some people love it. Like it's an interesting concept. It's definitely an interesting concept. So don't get me wrong, and don't at me because you're like, you don't like the full size. It's just like, it's not something I'm gonna run. I'm not interested in doing it. I would rather just have the Hydra. Yeah, I agree with you on that. The mayonnaise. We can draw a mayonnaise. There is the false Hydra concept is used in John Dies at the End. I love that book. It's a really good book. And the way they describe and talk about it is amazing. Like just erasing people from existence and the ramifications of that. Because in most situations, if somebody gets erased from existence, it's just like, oh, they're dead. But like, no, it has backlogged ramifications through time. And I love it. Like, it's a cool concept. I will not run that campaign. I will not do it. Kind of. It's a little bit. Yeah. And that's about as deep as I'm willing to go into it. But yeah. Yeah, you're right on the money. Like that's the concept, and I'm just like people have talked to me about it. Like, I think it's one of those. It's almost like an urban legend. People are just like, I learned about this thing. You should talk about that, and I'm like, good. Like, pass on it. It's just too complicated. It's too complicated for what I want to do in my games. Jump Rope tried to run something with that where like a town had gotten kind of controlled by Fae, and when we ran it, we were all so confused and just like, what is happening? Like we're not sure what to do. And then after the fact, like we all got frustrated and we kind of stopped playing. And after the fact, Jump Rope told me about what was going on, and I was like, holy shit, that's a really cool idea. Like that's awesome. I did not get any of that from the story. like trying to explain those kind of like weird meta storylines in a narrative way is really tough. Like trying to explain regular storylines in a narrative way is tough sometimes. So that kind of complexity in a game, whereas like with a video game, you can kind of get away with that stuff because you're so stuck on the rails. Like they tried to do that with like one of the old Kingdom Hearts games. They're just like, oh, that word is gone. It's like, what do you mean the word is gone? It's like, we can tell that blank is gone. And as a player, you're like, they're actually blanking out the word. Like, what the hell's happening here? It's a cool concept. It's great as a story. Fuck, worst thing being as a GM DM. Yeah, it takes a buy-in from the players too. Exactly. Yeah. Like, hey, can you leave the room? Why? Because you don't exist. It's like, oh, okay. Like, but yeah, people have talked about that as like intelligent devourers being players. Like, what if my character has psychic powers and can? It's like, it's not going to be that metal in my mind. It's going to be very mechanical. It's going to be very repeatable. And that stuff's doable. That stuff is totally doable. And that's kind of goes back to the mimic thing. It's like, I want to be a mimic because then I can turn my arms into buster swords that have nuclear powered reactors on the ends of them. It's like, or you can do your slam attack. I don't care what your arms look like. You do your slam attack. We're gonna stick to the book. The rule of cool. Yeah. Yep. That's the thing. I want to play a human, but edgy as fuck. It's like, stop it. Just play a bugbear. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. I am so lost. Wait, stop. You're playing a turtle, but it's a Warforged. I dig that. So it was a turtle that transferred its consciousness to a Warforged that looks like a turtle. Okay, but then it's dead. So is it just the shell of a turtle? Okay. Okay, so not the turtle soul anymore. Gotcha. Interesting. I'm currently, one of my friends is playing an Onkeg. Nope, not an Onkeg. The Pathfinder Trox. He's playing a Trox. These are not horse teeth. That is terrifying. He's playing a Trox, but something we had talked about when we made the character. He's like, okay, I want to be a god. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, sell this to me. He's like, okay, so my thought is that I was the god of death millennia ago, and I've since lost all of that and am now repossessed inside of this bug. And I'm like, okay, so you're level 1. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, so that's the first thing. If your backstory is Ukatoa. Yeah. So we basically worked it out. The only benefits he really gets from being this like post deity is that I basically always give him advantage on knowledge rolls when they deal with something of his domain. So like anytime he like sees death or smells something death, or as he's this big bug monster, so he'll like crawl around in the carnage. I'll just tell him. I'll be like, oh, this is necromantic energy. Like, you just know that. I'm not even gonna make you roll. He's just like, that's the way I've incorporated him being like this post deity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a way to look at it. Like, he has a free divine sense because of his kind of embedded knowledge. And then as his character grows and evolves, I have been giving him like weird necromancy things just to like augment his spells. He's a magus, so he's incorporating magic into his attacks. And I'll just be like, oh, this is a cool attack. You can make that necrotic damage if you want. You just innately know how to do that. And so that way it's less a mechanical issue of like, oh, I'm a dragon slayer at level 1. It's like, because that's the conversation we had to have. I'm like, if you want that to be your backstory, great. You are not going to have any like physical ability manifestation of that. Like, you're not going to get level 9 spells at level 2 because you're, yeah. But lots of little things to think about like that. But you can always do that with characters, and I kind of love that about it. Yeah, level 1 is really an introduction to D&D. And then level 2 and 3 are introductions to your class. And then level 3 to 5 is really like, okay, you've played this class. Here are the cool things you can do with it now. So if you understand D&D and you've played it quite a bit, you can usually start at level 3 without any issue at all. And with Pathfinder specifically, yeah, level 1 characters in Pathfinder is just like, what do? I attack. Okay, turn's over. Like, you don't have a lot of leeway. I'm a big fan of evil campaigns. Are a lot of fun when you set them up right, but they definitely take some work. It takes some work for your DM. Did I tell you guys about Jump Rope's first experiences with the evil campaign? This is after Kevin the Necromancer killed her character and revived her as an anti-paladin. And so she comes up out of this like the sewer grate that there's a guard guarding. And I'm like, yeah, he's just asleep. And she's just like, oh, like, actually asleep? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, I kill him. And I was like, you stab this old sleeping guy in the neck and he dies instantly. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, and the little boy across the street screams really loud as you see you do this. She's like, what? I'm like, you didn't ask me if there were people around. You just, you just stabbed this guy. And so then that turned into like a huge, like the guards were called and they're like, oh, necromancy's happening. There's this evil person killing people in the streets. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun and there were consequences and I love it. But, yeah. Poor little kid, traumatized for life. I saw my grandfather murdered by an evil drow. I will slay them all. It was a lot of fun for like the first 6 levels of that evil campaign, they could not talk to a shopkeeper. Like, things just kept happening, and shit just kept getting really weird. Like, Kevin the Necromancer would disguise himself and walk into a blacksmith, and then when they would start talking, like, the blacksmith would just know, and he's like, oh, the undead, and he just, like, paralyzed the guy, and, like, crap, what do I do? And they constantly got run out of town. It was so much fun. Yeah. Mines of Fendelver, yeah. Yep. The bug thinks it was a god before. No, so Inferno, my friend playing the Trox doesn't know. Like, the character doesn't know is kind of the fun thing. So he's just, like, constantly waddling around, just being, like, knows weird shit about necromancy and death. And, yeah, which I props to my friend for wanting that kind of meta thing going on with their character. And he's able to do it. He's really able to do it. Because there are situations where he would be like, would I be able to know that because of you know what? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. But besides that, he doesn't. He really likes figuring out what his characters like can do, and it's been a really fun experience. I don't know what I'm doing with this anymore. Yeah, that's something that I've kind of struggled with. Older versions of the game, like, you didn't really learn new spells every level. You had to find them, like, as wizards. Like, you just had to find spells. And so I'm kind of saddened that, I say as the person that plays clerics all the time, I'm kind of saddened that you just learn spells as you level. Mechanically and, like, in a game standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. It feels a lot better than having to find your spells. But I also like Caleb does this too, or I should say Liam O'Brien does this. He tries to rationalize why he knows spells. Like, oh, I've learned this one, or I'll spend the time figuring out something. And I love that. I think that's a really fun way to do it, how spells should be kind of looked at. But that requires, a lot of preparation, a lot of planning, and a lot of extra effort versus just, you level up, you get more powerful. Like, that's great too. Nice. Yeah, paladins can tend to do that. Oh. I need to make an alignment video, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of usually enough. Like the mentality of that's what we were talking about. Lawful stupid. Lawful stupid is really the term sits because it's when you follow the word of the law when it doesn't make sense. And so that's like with evil campaigns. That was Jump Rope's lawful stupid moment of just like, I'm evil, I have to kill this guy. And it's like, you don't have to. Like, your character might want to. You don't have to, though. Like, you as a player still have autonomy in your decisions. Drow lore. Well, it still just goes back to the thing of alignment is a guidance, not a prerequisite, and so it's a weird thing. We've talked about it quite a bit on a few of these shows. But Tixel is saying Drow lore was recently retconned heavily. Now they have the Drow slated by Loth, the Aventhyr, and they exist independently from law. Yeah, we've talked about that as well. Looks like history told via different viewpoints. Exactly. That's where we're getting back to. Alignment is the hardest part of D&D. And I think the thing to look at with all of this is the Drow that are in like the older edition books are not all Drow. The paladins you play who are supposed to follow a code are not all going to follow the code the same way. It's very much always in the hands of the storyteller. So when you're looking at something like a race of people, whatever the book says, the book is talking about that from the perspective of one person writing the book. And sometimes that's why they're like Tasha's Cauldron or Xanthar's Guide. Like, the books are supposed to be written from the perspective of that person. So if they see Drow as being these evil creatures that are always enslaving everybody, that's because that's the sum total of their knowledge of Drow. Because if you look at like the Salvatore books with like the Legend of Dritz, that's what the whole books are about. The whole books are about Dritz not wanting to be part of that. He moves away from those Drow specifically, and finds his own path. So when you're playing a paladin, this goes back to the cleric video. If you're playing a paladin or a cleric who's supposed to have a code, the only reason your alignment should matter for that is if it thematically makes sense. And with paladins, a lot of people think, okay, I'm lawful good. That means I cannot let anybody break the law. It's like, unless for some reason your paladin code specifically says no law can ever be broken or you are like permanently damned, which I've never heard of something like that. Sure, it still needs to be taken to the point of using your brain. Unless you have, like, I'm a paladin, but my int is 1, then yeah, you might be lawfully stupid, and you're just like, no, break law bad, and you kill the person, and it's just like, whoa, yeah, Dudley too, right? Like, that person would probably not be in a party with a rogue, period. And that's where not every player is meant for a party. If you want to have a campaign where you are just crusading across the land, stopping all forms of crime, that's a campaign. That's a campaign in itself. The rogue would not join that campaign. Yeah, and at the same time, like you can have a lawful evil rogue in a party of adventurers that are all wanting to be there, but like the rogue really has to, and this is what I say to players, like if you want to do that, you have to find the reason to be there. Like I'm not gonna write a story for you to follow along. I may give you things like maybe you're there because you need one of the players to sign something, like. That's something I've used in the past. Like, so with Kevin the Necromancer, when he first started playing, he's like, I want to play this evil character. I'm like, you need to find a reason to stay with the party. Because when they're going to go, we're going to go save the town, and you go, fuck that, I'm just going to kick you out of the game. Like, I'm like, that's fine. You don't go with them, and now you're gone. like, that's a thing that can happen. And so what he came up with is, okay, since he was an undead character, he's like, my soul has been sold to a contract to the Adventurers Guild, and now I'm basically like, I'm a slave to the Adventuring Guild. So one of the party members had a writ of contract for him, and he's just like, I have to listen to whatever you say. It's part of my warlock pact. And it was like, great, I like it. We'll do that. And at one point, that character got knocked out, and he took the writ and destroyed it. And he's like, I'm free. And I'm like, yeah, you're free. And he ran, and he just took off. And it's like, congratulations, you won. You won D&D. Like, you fulfilled that character's purpose. And he's like, I did. And for a while we were like, I guess we're done. Like, I think you're like, that character's finished, right? And that eventually turned into our evil campaign, and that was a lot of fun too. But the point being, like, D&D can be finite. Characters can be finite, and if your rogue is evil and only there for one purpose, it's okay for them to finish that purpose and then leave. Like, that's absolutely legit. Redeem drink, redeem posture check. Will do, Corvus. Thank you very much. VTM is basically written to put you in evil situations and slowly corrupt your characters, yeah. Basically railroaded, but it can be fun as hell. Yeah, that's the problem with evil characters, if they're not on a rail, is because they're selfish characters, like, congratulations, you defeated the dungeon. This is my dungeon now. Congratulations, you retire to the dungeon. like that can happen. That can absolutely happen. I think characters should be thought of as finite. Yeah, but that is my day. That's totally good. Oh, he was playing a cleric. He was playing a Pathfinder character, and it was the not undead champion. You get an undead champion. You are. It's a necromantic cleric. How's it going, Kraken? I just said at instead of SO. That's my bad. Let me shout you out real quick. I hope your day's going well. Boom. Did it. Haven't gotten attached to anyone. Seriously, trying to kill our crew. It says session 0. Yeah, that's the best way to play. Everything is removable. Nothing is for sure. Undead Lord, that's what it was. He was playing an Undead Lord cleric, where you slowly become undead as you play. Like, you basically you sell your soul to something and become a lich. Yeah. Yeah, Pathfinder's rolls a little differently. With 5e's like kind of static. That's why the templates kind of don't work, because once you have advantage on something, you just have advantage. Like, you can't get better than that. It's like, well, okay. But Pathfinder lets you have lots of little pluses, so things scale a little better. I don't know. I think I might be done with this. What time is it? It's 6 o'clock. I think that's probably a good place to call it. Cryptic, sorry you just showed up. If unfortunately I'm gonna bounce here pretty quick. You just planning on streaming it all tonight? We should find somebody fun to stream. If you haven't checked out the new video. Woojis. Sierra, thank you for the resubscription. Enjoy those sweet emotes. As always, I need to do push-ups for that. I promise people I do push-ups, and I will. Because I'm right in my word. Sarah, did you see the massive pictures of the skip cat? They're pretty great. Thank you for shouting your... Nope, you shouted me out again. Dang it. Pathfinder gives you a granularity. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Boom. There we go. But yeah, what was I talking about here? That muscle would be there. Yeah, that muscle's like that. Drawing arms are weird. I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, the new video's out. Go check out the new video. I'm going to be working on the next episode 2 of our Patreon game. If you guys want to check that out, that should be out pretty soon. The first episode is still up. The next Artist Arcana video should be out pretty soon. Just waiting on artwork for that, and then we will have that out hopefully here in the next few days. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, maybe, maybe. Yeah, did you not see the cat pictures in reference to cat? I got a new camera. It's amazing. It's like 1 billion pixels. So many pixels. Also the cat named Pixel, but Artist Arcana is where Sierra, Druid, Ace, and Jonas and I all get together and draw stuff as a team. So, yeah. Oh no. No, this one. What did we do for this one? We did r/character drawing. That's what it was. We went and we found some people looking to get their art drawn, and we drew them for them. I hope you're doing okay now, Sierra. Hospitals don't sound fun. Don't do that. I mean, do that if you have to. Absolutely go to the hospital if you have to. Thanks everybody for hanging out and drawing with me today. It was a blast. Got to draw some weird stuff, which is always good. Yeah, go check out those videos. Check out the Patreon page. If you haven't checked out the Patreon page, check out Describe. Hashtag kinda sponsored. There's an affiliate link down below that'll get you a sweet coupon code. If you want to get some nice box text done, they're running a contest right now. I think it's till the end of the month. I'm not sure about that, but they are running a contest where you could win some sweet stuff if you submit. Actually, I don't know if you actually have to submit something to them. You just have to sign up for the contest. But you can submit your own ideas for box text, and they might write it up and add it to their website, which is pretty dope. So, I mean, just call the piece finished. I'm almost done. If I stream tonight, I'll probably finish one of the figures, and I can probably just call it there. Right there. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, if you want to just finish up the one piece. I like the one character you did. So yeah, if you don't want to do the second character, I totally get that. I haven't finished editing that video yet. Probably be another day or two, or a few days before that's finished. So if you want to take the time, you can, and if not, or you could give me what you have, and then we could also keep working on it. It's your choice. Either way, it does not matter. But yeah, those are the things I've got in the works right now. Got the new camera, so we're going to try to do some sweet clay stuff in the next week or two. I am still super busy with work and videos. Also, there should be an interview I did with Ego Distilled yesterday. That's supposed to be out, I think, Sunday, maybe Monday. Ego, if you're around, let me know, and we can promote the hell out of that. If not, that's fine. I don't know if I have raiding in me today. I should probably see if there's anybody to raid right now, but I'm so tired. So tired. Hey, Hot Take Tyler. You know, let's go hang out with Hot Take Tyler. So, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table, and we'll catch you next week. Enjoy your wonderful weekend. I might do a quick stream on Sunday. Who knows? Who knows? But thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful time, and we will catch you later. Bye-bye. I say bye-bye, but now we have to wait for the 10 seconds for the raid to start. Go, everybody. Join the raid. Spam those rugby emotes. Spam them.